Good evening, America. This is Keith Dannington. As you well know, yesterday, December 7, 1941, the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii was bombed by Japanese aerial precision strike forces. Our prayers go out to the families of the 2,400 Americans that paid the ultimate price to protect their country yesterday. Here's Clyde Joyner with further insight.
Good evening, Keith. To be blunt, the facts are grim. The first strike was at 7:53 a.m., the second an hour later. The battle was over by 10 o'clock. 188 U.S. planes were demolished, and 8 battleships were annihilated. Additionally, about 3 hours after the attack, the Japanese also began bombing American facilities in the Philippines. Well, what exactly does that mean for the United States? Well, in response to this Japanese aggression, the American government has declared war on Japan. So it looks like as if we're about to be pulled into the eye of a storm that is this European monstrosity of a war.
Thanks for the insight, Clyde. Clyde will be around once more information develops. Up next, we have Japanese Ambassador Kichisaburo Nomuru to give us the Japanese side of the story and let us know why this attack may have happened. Let's see what he has to say.
Many of you may believe that the Japanese attack was an entirely spontaneous attack on the U.S. However, that is far from the case. The U.S. and its allies, it seemed that the Japanese were advancing too far across the Pacific. So in response, they requested for us to retreat back to the southern French Indo-Chinese land that we had previously captured. We chose not to comply, and in response, the U.S. decided to enact an oil embargo on Japan. This was a major setback for the Japanese forces due to the fact that the U.S. was our main and largest oil supplier. The Japanese government then decided the best course of action was to retaliate by the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Our Admiral and Vice Admiral Isaraku Yamamoto and Shuichi Nagumo stand firmly behind these decisions.
Well, now that we've taken a little bit of time to hear the enemy attempt to defend their actions, let's talk to a real American eyewitness of this tragedy, Sergeant Douglas Stanhope. What can you tell us about your experience of yesterday's attack, Doug?
The scene was absolutely horrific and hellish, Keith. Hundreds, maybe even thousands were dead and so many more wounded. There were Japanese dive bombers, and it seemed like the rain of bombs was never ending. Once it had ended, though, we thought it was over. Boy, were we wrong. Just when we started to recoup and counter losses, they hit us with another wave. I really cannot describe what it was like to be in this attack with any other words than pure destruction. I completely stand behind the United States declaration of war, and I think it's about time to show those Japs who they're messing with.
Thanks for your thoughts, Sergeant. Stay brave. Up next, we have Japanese citizen and attack supporter Hiroko Kochiro. As difficult as it may be, we still find it is necessary to hear a real Japanese citizen share his thoughts on the matter. Mr. Kochiro, what do you have to say for Japan?
Well, Keith, I think what you and the rest of the American media have said is completely not on the point. I represent the Japanese party in this circumstance, and what we have done here is not wrong or awful and is completely justifiable. We, the Japanese, have bombed Pearl Harbor because of the U.S. and their damn oil embargo upon us. The oil embargo that was placed on us absolutely destroyed our economy and our government, almost collapsed. We have done little to nothing to provoke this, and in order to make our side of the conflict heard, the attack on Pearl Harbor was necessary. We are hoping for the U.S. to lift their oil embargo and remain neutral in this war, so no more American lives are lost. Thank you.
Although I may not agree with your stance, I'm glad we were able to have you on the show without any conflicts. Well, folks, that's all we have for now, but we will keep you updated once more information develops. Now. 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 Now.
Alex, what's up, Mackie?
Nah, I'm just filming Ollie.